to episode 24 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. I am your host, 1/3 of your hosts anyway, LaurenWhatevs. And we're going to talk about Snap. It's an even numbered episode, so we're going to throw it to Ben first. Ben, how was your week in Snap? And keep it snappy.
All right. Well, endeavoring to keep it snappy, as I always do. I don't know what you've heard about me. Anyway, it's been an all right week in Snap. I played a fair amount. This was actually, I think, the first week since the launch of Alliances where I, for a period of several days, forgot to pick up bounties.
I was worried.
Was traveling, doing stuff. I got there in the end. Speaking of traveling, I went and saw a musical. It was Hades Town. Saw it in Iowa City. It was a great time. Got to see my family. Yay. Hear some fine tunes. It was a good time. Not my favorite musical of all time, but not my least favorite musical of all time. Pretty good. Other than that, snapping though. Did I snap some while I was, traveling and doing other things? I always do. Yes, of course. So I did get some games in. What was I playing? I was playing Discard. I was playing Surfer. I was playing a very cool Heimdall deck that I think I will tell you about because I think I've spoken at greater length about the other decks that I played this week. But this, I almost saw they're trying to throw the OTA in my face. We're trying to do live reactions this time, so I am going to resist this information. But I'll just tell you from memory, the deck has Iron Fist, Ghost Spider, Nico Minoru, Dagger, Craven. Okay, now I can see the list. Okay. Sorry, this is not great radio. But yes, Ghost Spider, Iron Fist, Nico Minoru, Dagger, Hawkeye. That's Kate Bishop Hawkeye, by the way. Craven, Spider-Man, Green Goblin, Werewolf by Night, Vulture, Heimdall, and Magneto. It's Wolf Spider 25A. Wolf Spider is a deck that I was playing back in 2023, and it was winning a lot. A piece of history from my past that no one cares about. But yes,
I figured out your naming system. 25 because it's the year.
Also, Wave Flourish 25B is pretty cool. Turns out that one doesn't have Galacta in it. It does have Absorbing Man. It's still got Hope. Okay, just in case you were wondering what I was going to do with Wave Flourish 25A. Also, I have experimented with running Mobius in that deck as tech in the Rocket and Groot slot, and I give it a big old shrug. I think I don't like Mobius and Surfer. I think you don't want to be playing him on turn 3. I think you've got better things to do. Okay. So I know this is what everyone was really worried about. So it's time for everybody to breathe a big sigh of relief because I have successfully defeated Prometheus with 32 Fear in Hades 2. After experimenting with many combinations of vows and arcana, I settled on a kit tailored to the specific challenges of the surface route. I used Synth, the black coat, with the aspect of Selene. Selene is much better in Hades 2 than in Marvel Snap. I said it. Anyway, it was important for me to accomplish this before patch 7 hits, doubtless changing the game and probably sanding down the difficulty of certain enemies native to Mount Olympus. But back to Snap. Token Tuesday. It was a bad one. I hope you didn't buy it. Get the next one. It's probably a good one. And also there was this Pantheon album that just came out featuring a bundle exclusive Heimdall variant. But don't worry if you missed it. The Collector's Vault is there to help you finish this exciting new shopping list, much as I predicted on this very podcast.
You sure did.
And that's what the Collector's Vault is for. It's so they can assign you bundle variants.
What a raging disappointment. Can we just cool. While we're on the topic, the Vault, as far as I know, the only kind of repetition protection you have is that it won't repeat the same variants 2 months in a row. Which means, in theory, you could see a variant 1 month and then see it again 2 months later. It just makes it if you're missing, hundreds of bundle variants, which there are hundreds.
Yeah, I'm missing most of them.
It's even over a year, it might be a 20% chance you're going to see that Heimdall once. It's just...
Oh, man, I was going to say, I don't even freaking care. But then I remembered, Anime Angela and Sarah exist.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I would.
There's one that I want. I want the Fiona. I don't know how to say her name.
I also don't know how to say her name, but I can spell it. I think you're talking about HSIEH.
Yes, and I'm sorry I don't know how to pronounce that. But that Bast is beautiful. It's like the Constellation realistic panda one.
Yes,
I missed that bundle even though it was affordable. And I would really like that Bast. That is the only thing that's in the vault that I will spend gold on.
It makes me so mad in the collector's vault that they make you like go through and click like, ooh, it's so exciting. It's like, this is a thing I'm getting. This is like an opportunity. If I'm going to the store, I don't want to be like, ooh, unveil like the butter, Like, it's just like, no. You want me to spend money? Don't act like it's some, like it's a showcase, like on Wheel of Fortune or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like don't do that. It just pisses me off. It's like exciting animations in video games should be for exciting things. Anyway.
Yeah, I've only opened the collector's vault one time. It was actually to show a family member, be like, you believe this shit? But yeah, I was just like giving him a quick tour of the whole shop screen and its many features, and I was like, yeah, this is the world I've immersed myself in, y'all.
Just like mostly I don't care. Albums aren't for me, they're for whales.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I do care about some of the albums. I've been waiting for some variants to show up in my shop.
Yeah, there's like 2 albums I've decided to chase. There's one emote I want, one card back I want. And it takes forever for a single variant I want to show up. So it's like I'm just actively disincentivized or being discouraged from starting any other album because the 2 I'm already in the middle of are taking forever.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I have 2 albums I'm going for. One is for my Noodle Silk, which we know is lacking noodles, but will forever remain Noodle Silk. And the Rian for like Chibi Iron Lad. I have those 2. Oh, and Flaviano because Negasonic Teenage Warrior. I know I'm on 3 albums. It's too many. All right, second dinner. Fix it. Let me finish now.
I'm very excited to get one more Jim Lee X-Men so that I can collect 2,000 collector's tokens.
Yeah, that's a good trade.
I would be too.
That's like a Token Tuesday. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But I still don't buy because like I'm gonna get one of these 700 gold variants as a random, so I'm not buying them out of the shop. I'm not goofy like that. But I have bought a couple of variants out of the shop to get those resource rewards. From the album. So like it's not like I've never made use of the feature, but I understand that it's not for me, and so it doesn't have to please me. Totally. And that's good because it wouldn't. Cool. That was my weekend snap. Yeah, it was a good time.
Okay.
The SP are doing okay. That's there was more yo-yoing. The high point was 7,856 or something. I took a quick screenshot and then I tanked it. So got to crawl back up there. But yeah, I think I'll probably make #pod goals.
Okay, and our third co-host, Ree. How was your weekend snap and keep it snappy?
Okay, so interesting timing on this week. Because of the greed of capitalism, I was forced to get a new phone against my will. And as we all know, the game hasn't been in the App Store. It just came back like the other day. So I didn't have Snap, and I do I have a computer, and all of that. So it wasn't, I didn't just not play Snap all week, but there was a lot less Snap, than normally I would get. And it really made me think this is why, one of the reasons for the big compensation packages for people who just had it on their phone and are super active players, it kind of probably wasn't that noticeable, except for when, you briefly had to VPN and stuff like that, the disruption. But I was thinking, I'm okay, got this new phone. I couldn't get Snap on if I wasn't had a lot of Snap friends, was like really into Snap, did a podcast, maybe I just wouldn't have played Snap until it came back into the store. And if I also wasn't tied in, what if after that week I just kind of forgot? I didn't notice. I was, especially as a more casual player, right?
Like, have the habit totally broken.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
could absolutely be your off ramp.
Yeah.
Right? And not even and I'm not even someone who's like angry at the game. Like some people are. And it's like, it would have been so easy for me. Like if I wasn't like tied in with a bunch of other people to play Snap, to just kind of like fade out or like, easily just be like, oh, I didn't realize it came back in. But now I'm like 2 months out. I'm going to be like missing so many cards. It's like, it's just almost a guaranteed a lot of drop-in players, like being out of the App Store like that is a big deal. So I'm not surprised they were super generous in the compensation, which was, everyone probably listening got it, but it was like 2 spotlight keys, 6 premium variants, how many credits?
Well, it depends on if you got the US package or not.
Oh, yeah,
they were both big. But yeah, you either got 6 Series 3 cards or 2 keys, depending on your CL. And that's regardless of your region.
Yeah. So, so like it was a weird week. So I thought I would redeem the coupon I gave myself for having to smile and nod. We all talked about Rivals, which I get, like, Marvel Rivals is fashionable right now or whatever. And I would take my brief detour into my video game revelation this week, which is in the PvP that I play, which is Frontlines in Final Fantasy XIV. Usually I play a summoner because if you're familiar with Final Fantasy games, they deal the most damage. And some of the coolest things, right? Well, okay.
What I know about summoners is that you should stay away from the summoner. There's this old lady in Final Fantasy X who says it to you as many times as you want to talk to her.
Okay, that's because there's great prejudice against the art of summoning, but we won't get into that anyway. So, because normally when I play PvP, yes, I'm very squishy and I die very quickly, but I love looking over and like being like, oh, you're cute. Now, I would never disrespect a quality sword, but it's like, oh, with your little muscles and your little helmet over there, behold my space dragon. And that, because the summoner limited break summons Bahamut, this giant dragon, it just rains fire over everyone. It's pretty awesome. And, okay, but, too many matches in a row, there was like a shortage of tanks. The problem about being a little waif that summons fire from the heavens is that you will die to every sling and arrow and small pebble that crosses your path. You need the meat shields. So I answered the call and I became a paladin. And I found my new calling in PvP because, like, the paladin's limit break, okay, which doesn't, on paper it sounds less cool than summoning a space dragon to rain fire on all of your enemies for, like, however many seconds. The paladin's ability is invulnerability for 10 seconds. It's like if Super Saiyan mode...
That's a long time.
0.5 seconds to activate instead of 5 episodes. And, okay, so what this means is, like, okay, Frontlines is 3 teams of 24 players. So it's 3 armies crushing for, like, various kind of capture the flag goals, depending on the map or whatever. And so when you're a paladin and you have your limit break up, you can stand, like, at the front of your army, facing nothing between you and, like, an opposing army, filling your screen, and you're just like, activate, let's fucking go, and you get to live out every fantasy battle, like Helm's Deep, every movie you've ever loved. You're just charging in, right? And you don't die instantly, like normally, like the real story. would be that you instantly perish. But this, you just do it, and it's just like, it's so good. It's like peak, like getting to charge into an enemy army, like fantasy movie style, is like peak nerd rush, like the most rush you can get while sitting in your chair and actually like not doing anything. Anyway, so
I love that for you. And tanks are very important in any multiplayer game. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm a paladin. Anyway, okay.
Good for you.
Is this with your same character? Your little wispy wave character? Obviously now a little beefy, but...
Okay, yeah, that's the importance of wardrobe. Yes, because in FF14 you can be... You're actually, in fact, canonically the most powerful, of all the people in the entire world. And so, like it's funny because it's written into the lore why you can just pick up jobs like nothing. You're just better at everything. It's so good. Okay, anyway. Yes, so it is my wispy something, but then she's like carrying a book, is her weapon, and she's in like a gown or whatever, and like my paladin is like,
two totally different modes.
Yeah, right. It's all about what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like in real life.
Well.
Yeah. Okay, very brief side rant is like how angry I am what's happened to fantasy. Because like that's what I was talking about. We had Lord of the Rings, we had Helm's Deep. It's like I understand what fantasy is, and I've studied history. I don't want to actually watch a battle where like a bunch of poor people stab each other to death, and it's horrible,
It is a bit sad,
in the rain.
yes.
I want my fantasy, like I don't want to actually be there in a battlefield. That's why we play video games, I want to imagine the fantasy, and it feels like all like fantasy television shows and movies for like forever is like, okay, but what if everyone is the worst and the cruelest and it's like the most horrific? And it's like, but we're the fantasy.
Anybody can die.
And the only way, and we'll make it even more real by making sure everything's the worst for women.
Yep.
And everything. It's
That's
just
how you achieve realism.
Let me have fantasy. Let me have my fantasy battles. Bring back Helm's Deep. Okay. Anyway, all right. Sorry, sad ran over. That was a bonus that shouldn't have happened.
No, it's I see the appeal of a righteous fantasy charge over a messy real world bloodbath. Yeah. Let's have that sanitized fantasy violence with like, no pangs of guilt or anything about enjoying it.
Well, because it's fantasy.
Let's make carnage fun again.
I'm not, but like, that's the thing. I'm not enjoying literal carnage. And they're like, okay, but what if we show literal carnage? That's better. And it's like, no, like, I'm not a psychopath.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not exactly fantasy, but there's a TV series on Amazon called The Power, where teen girls.
I've seen The Power with Toni Collette and John Leguizamo and.
I have no idea who's in it. I'm actually I'm only a few episodes deep, but I have heard good things about it. And teen girls suddenly develop the power to shoot electricity, and that causes a balance, like a shift in the balance of power, right? Just the fact
that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, your world where everything is grimmer because everything's horrible for women is like, this shows the opposite of that.
It's too real.
Yeah, let's move more power into the hands of teenage girls. My week in Snap. I have continued playing a deck I fell in love with at the beginning of the season. I probably talked about it here before. It's a Safety Blade deck, Iron Patriot, Victoria Hand, very simple. You're rocking both Nico and Frigga so that you can clone Victoria Hand. And just, when you get 2 or 3 Victoria Hands, that's a lot of power for not a lot of energy. And similarly, you can clone your Iron Patriot card or an Anti-Venom card, to like just double up on big discounts. I've been just casually playing it, and I hit top 4,000 in ranked, and that's by far the highest I've been since last January when I hit top 1,000. I don't know how much further I'm going to push it. because I feel the game getting worse the closer I get to higher ranks, and I want to be able to have fun. So I don't know where that sweet spot is. I theorize that it's at the point where your SP. This is just my dumb like random theory that at the point your SP and your rank are equal, that's the threshold for when ranked mode starts getting worse.
The singularity happens.
Yeah, it's
I
right
don't know
around.
if that's true. I think it's definitely like satisfying from like a like a numerology perspective or whatever. Like I'm sure it's very aesthetically pleasing for you, but I think it's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's
for
like
what it's worth,
magic.
It was around 7,500 for me. I think as the season goes on, that number gets bigger. Yeah. Anyway. It's been a fun season. Compensation was great. I had recently bitched about struggling to find the variants that for the albums I was chasing. I did that in my intro, and then the next day 2 of them showed up in my shop.
Oh, nice.
So that's my advice to everybody: is to complain about how horrible the shop is. Okay,
I do that all the time, and it doesn't work for me.
It's so bad. They say that it's got like an algorithm. It's like personalized to you, and it does not feel personalized at all. I see so many days where there is, variants I'm not remotely interested in. I feel like I've seen them multiple times. Just show me the freaking... Yeah. Anyway. It's dumb, too, because these albums, they're not... We shouldn't talk about them again. They're just not doing their job, right? Like... The ones that I'm collecting, I want the Iron Man eye roll emote. I just feel like that'd be useful. And it's in a Scotty Young album. Scotty Young's art is fine, but I don't like the baby variants, right? The ones of his, like the Rocket Raccoon ones that aren't babies, I like those, but I don't like the baby variants. But I'm collecting 12 baby variants just for an emote. Like, here's gold that I wouldn't be spending for any other reason, and they won't even offer them to me.
Don't do it. Everyone muted you anyway.
Not true. People emote back all the time.
Sometimes I unmute people after I did an amazing.
That is incredible. Okay, let's get into this week's card. The last of the Dark Avengers season, Ares, a 4/6 with the on reveal ability. Compare the power of the top 3 cards of both decks. If your total is higher, +6 power. Did you get him? What do you think?
I did not get him. Kind of felt like everybody took my advice and didn't get him. Yeah, I have run into some out in the wild. One of them did not get its +6. That happens. That's not a good card when that happens. But when it gets its +6, it seems perfectly serviceable and fine, but non-essential. And also, like, it won't help Starbrand in 2 months. So if you missed it, good for you, probably. I don't know. But if you're having fun with it, I'm happy for you. But yeah, boringest card in the history of ever. And it isn't even going to synergize with cards in the same vein to come. So I don't know why they thought people would be excited about it.
Yep. Not Thaddeus Ross either.
Yep.
Okay. Ree?
I haven't seen it. I literally have not. I did not get it because I'm not, honestly... Maybe if I were a little more enthused about, like, the other Spotlight variants or whatever, but, like, yeah. So, and I've literally not run it. I have seen a lot of mill, so, like, maybe some decks were running it, but...
running it?
Probably was in there. Yes.
But it doesn't matter. Here's the problem with the mill decks I've been running is, like, literally all I've been playing is this, like, auto Victoria Hand Iron Patriot Shield nonsense, and it's like,
yeah, you're generating cards.
Oh yeah, you
mill me. I have so much in my hand. I don't even want to fucking draw a card. I'm already at fucking 7 because I have Wiccan. So I played normally you hold a Snow Guard, to see if you get the collector, to see if you need it. You know what I mean? You never usually play Snow Guard on turn 1, but like when you have a Wiccan in your deck, you do. And I'm just like, I'm card rich. Like, just try and mill me. It's been glorious.
Whipping
Mill's
out
never
Fliff like
failed so hard.
Not even counting it.
I have seen a handful of Aries. I did not get him. I think he's mid. I will say a 412 is a good card. When it happens, 412 is a lot to deal with. Until you have Shang, and then it's fine.
Does he have a cool animation?
The animation is very cool.
It's fine.
I don't know what this. I think
he swears when he loses, like Gladiator. That's fun.
True. That's great. Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah, both the decks like come up together, and there's like a cloud of smoke, and when it clears, it shows the numbers on top of the deck, and it's like 26-9, and then 26 is bigger, and Aries reacts accordingly. I had previously said I thought he might be good in mill because then he's a finisher where you have more cards in your deck than your opponent, and you can beat them. But I think he's actually bad in mill because
I agree.
In the new version of mill that's going around, you run death, and that's just better.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
0-12 is better than a 4-12.
It sure is.
New.
4-12 is practically fair.
I mean, I guess you're not getting her down to 0 very often, but even if you get her down to 4, a reliable 4-12 is better than a 4-12 you're gambling on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think he goes inserter, and he's a very small upgrade to that deck. And that deck is getting 2 other upgrades in February and March that are incompatible. So it is a very skippable card. Yep. Okay. It's that time. It's a new season next week. And so we're just going to very briefly mention that we have Sam Wilson, Captain America, coming as the season pass card. And we have Joaquin Torres coming as the spotlight card, and we'll talk about them in a second when we talk about we're going to do our predictions for next season. Joaquin Torres' spotlight friends though are Makkari and Namora. I like both of these cards a lot.
2 cards I love too. They're more offbeat cards. Like I think if you were to speak to. Who would you speak
Makkari
to?
Definitely is a weirdo.
Although Makkari is about to get less weird because of one of these new cards. There's a very Makkari-like effect that
Ooh.
I wonder if that's why Makkari's in the spotlight this week.
I don't know which card you're talking about, so I look forward to hearing your theory.
Well, it's the first one we're going to talk about, so... Are we ready to transition to the ratings and rankings, or do we have more to say about these cards?
Do we think it's worth spending keys for Makkari and Namora? I think for Namora.
I think Makkari's going to series drop. That's what I think.
Namora,
you have a series drop coming this quarter sometime.
But it's like 20-ish cards, right? 19, 21, some number in that range. Is that correct?
We have no idea. They just said it's going to be bigger than the last one. I thought they confirmed
the size of the series drop.
I missed that if they did.
It would be rare if I was up on some news that Lauren wasn't, but stranger things have happened. So maybe. I don't know. I thought maybe Griffin said how many cards there were. What was that?
I thought Ree was saying something about Makkari.
Oh, no, I think Namora. I was just saying she's a build-around card, but she's very fun. But, like, Junk, if Junk has ever met it, like, just destroys.
That's true.
Really annoying and obnoxious. Because I feel like the last time I tried to build a Namora deck, that's what happened, but...
There's some really nasty things you can do with Namora, though, like... beef up a Black Panther or a Scarlet Spider, and then you spread that power around. It's pretty tasty.
She's real excited. She's like a big payoff card. Like,
she's a very good card. I like Namora a lot. I don't build with her very much, but I respect her a great deal.
516, if she works properly, that's a lot. That's a big old card. If
she works properly once and you're not up to some, nonsense.
You're not doing Wong Nanigans or I really like doing Grandmaster with her. It spreads the power really interestingly because after she moves, she hits Grandmaster. It's fun.
Well, only if she was the only thing in the lane when you played her the first time, which is probably like kind of an ask, but I don't know.
I've had fun with her within Grandmaster.
As long as you're having fun, that's what matters.
You can always put a bunch of goblins in the deck.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was doing.
You know what Ares is really good against? Decks with goblins in them. So that's something to note about our new edition. Just Rex decks with goblins, such as the Wolf Spider deck I spoke about in my Weekend Snap.
Yeah. Okay, let's I guess we're getting into the patch, and then we'll do the OTA after that, because there's an OTA today that we're going to live react to. Or not the patch, the February Seasons cards. Okay, let's talk about our Season Pass card, Sam Wilson, Captain America. Our ranking system is all over the place. It's kind of follow your heart. We do give things somewhere between 2 thumbs down and 2 thumbs up. But it's not necessarily power. It's whatever feels right to you. Am I more or less describing that right?
Yeah, I went on a 4-point scale for all of these things this time.
Great. Sam Wilson, Captain America. Our second Sam Wilson card and our second Captain America card at the same time. 2-3. Game start, add Cap's shield to a random location. Ongoing, you can move Cap's shield. Captain America's shield is a 1/1 with ongoing, this can't be destroyed. Give your Cap +2 power when this moves to Cap's location. Throw it to Ben first.
All right, so I got some thoughts about this. First, I'll give my rating. I give Sam Wilson, Captain America, a rating of 4 out of 4 hood-mounted machine guns as seen in Twisted Metal, streaming now on Peacock. Anthony Mackie stars in that show. That's why.
I see. Okay.
I recommend it. It's good fun. I would describe that show as good fun. Anyway, this is a very powerful card, probably too powerful, but I like it anyway. Spider-Man appears to have ushered in a new golden age of 2/4s, just like he did for the 3/5 stat line. And I got a couple of quick thoughts on that shield. Cap's shield is a Makkari that you never even have to draw. This happens at the start of the game. Sometimes it lands on Sanctum Sanctorum and you just win. Okay, sure. Sounds cool. A very, very fair way to start the game. The other thought I have about the shield is I wonder if there's going to be a text change, because as it's worded now, Captain America's shield, it's a little messy. The current wording suggests that the effect which triggers when it moves to Cap's location is a part of its ongoing ability, which seems like an inappropriate use of the keyword as I understand it. So that's just like a little formatting problem I have with it. But other than that, seems like a very powerful card, probably too good, as I said. Yeah, I think it's busted.
Wow. Ree?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a really good card. And honestly, my dream for it is like a thematic lore dream. Is like, could this finally be the bridge, like with enough going, where we could have Sam Wilson, Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Patriot all in the deck somehow? It's like Patriot never goes with Captain America. You know what I mean? And I want them all, like,
the American dream.
That's
if it makes you feel better, I'm sure you can play Iron Patriot in that deck. He'll go.
Yeah. It makes me sad that it's like Patriot and Captain America just don't make any sense together.
A missed opportunity, to be sure.
Yeah, I don't know that this is it, but, maybe. There's so many ongoings. Maybe there's some kind of weird spectrum. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. What
maybe
about you, Lauren?
Also play Joaquin Torres Falcon and you play Squirrel Girl to generate a bunch of squirrels while still leaving enough room to move the shield around.
With Khazar?
I'm trying to work with it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking. Because you have Khazar, so then there's another target for Captain America to buff. You have enough ongoing, and you have little cards, and you put like Kair in there to protect all your little 1-drops or something. I don't know. It's what I want.
Well, when you said you agree, you're giving it a 4-point or a 2 thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. I'm only giving Sam a 1 thumbs up. 1 thumb up. I think it is a super cool ability that the shield starts on the board. I think that's great. And there's definitely strong stuff you can do with it. It could also start in Bar with No Name.
And then you can move it.
If
he shows up. If he shows up,
get Sam on the board by turn 5,
But what if you have other ways to move cards in your deck?
Makkari never moves. Think about that.
No, you're right. Yeah, and as long as you get Sam on the board by turn 5, Sam himself is a 2/5, which, like, that's good. You know, like, you put him somewhere that's not where shield is, and then on turn 6 you move the shield to him. Ta-da! You've got I guess a 2/6 because the shield is also there that was free.
Yet you give him a 1.
If you get him on curve, if you get him on curve and you move there back, he's a 2/7. Which is good. If you get Sam and Cap,
well, he's actually 2/8 because the shield is still around. He starts as a 2/4.
Right. Okay, I was talking about his body himself. If you get Sam and Cap on curve, then he's, I guess, a 2/12, 2/15. Like, that adds up a lot. Just having both of them on the board.
You're underestimating the effect of just having this 1/1 start on the board. Even if you never ever, if Sam Wilson wasn't even in the picture, you know what I mean? Because, like, look at how, like, as a frequent enjoyer of Marvel Boy, do you know how huge that is for me to have a 1/1 already on the board at the start of the game?
A 1/1 that can't be destroyed?
You buried the lead, Marvel Boy.
Ooh, maybe.
Dang.
Right? Yeah. So, like, it's like, you're solely for that ability, you're like Ben said, just the times it might be on a Sanctum Sanctorum, your ability to move it, it's just the power. Like I said, as someone who has played as someone who just enjoys, like, copying Goose a million times to lock everyone out of a board and play a bunch of my little cards. I've done a lot of this kind of stuff, and it's huge to just start with this card on the board for, like, building into some things. I don't know.
But it also takes up one space.
And I'll tell you.
It also takes up one space on the board. It is cool. It's like a one card combo card. Like,
more room for other
the fact that it moves. I mean, like, sure, it takes up a space, but you can scoot it
doesn't move for free, though. You have to pay 2 energy. You have to take up another space. You have to, like, if you get him late, you have to take up 2 energy on turn 5 to move it. You know, like, I don't know. I think there's downsides there. I think super duper cool in Spectrum. Spectrum needs cheap ongoing cards, and there are very few of those, that, especially ones that you want to run. I've seen Spectrum decks that run Howard or Quinjet just because they're cheap ongoing cards, and that's like, this is a big upgrade on that. And both Captain America will love that. What is your realization that you just had?
Sorry, it's the stupidest thing ever. I just realized I shouldn't say. Okay, what if you, like, Sauron'd off its ability to be destroyed, and then you destroyed it, and then you brought it back with Phoenix Force? I know, I was just like, don't even say it out loud.
You have to bounce it, and then soar on it.
Okay, I know, I'm sorry.
I guess you could
lowering the IQ
podcast. I think another silly idea, but I think is actually somewhat real. I think this is actually a Hercules buff. Get Hercules out there with both Captain America. It's pretty sexy.
That's a clip thing, Lauren. It's going to be a great clip, but that's a clip thing. That's not a real thing. Hercules with no way.
Okay, if you just have Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Hercules on the same location, shield. That's real. I'm not even talking about, like, hoping and praying that I'm going to bounce it between my 2 Captain America at the same time. Like, that's cool too. But
then that's only one lane where all that power lives, if that is indeed the plan.
One lane that you paid 5 energy for, and that's it.
That's a lot. That's 3 cards, and I mean,
and it's 2 cards.
And is it 5 energy? I mean, like, it's Hercules. It's 2 Captains America.
No. Just Sam Wilson and Hercules.
Oh, just Sam and Hercules. You think?
I think the other Captain America can get in on that, and that's cool too. But just Sam Wilson and Hercules is a cool lane. I don't know. I think the shield's super fun with a move package, but obviously that is not the best way to play move. Anyway, I think it's a very cool card, but I think it's very niche. And I don't know if, like, the best place is Spectrum, I don't think that says a lot of good things about a card.
I think
that's why right. I only gave it one thumb.
Maybe you've talked me around. I don't know.
Okay, next up.
I still think it's probably 2. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, season pass cards historically are very good. Especially our last 4 have all been bangers.
Okay. No, because then you'd ruin your Sam Wilson. Okay,
Soren ruins Sam.
I just want Soren to have more cards.
For real. Yeah. Maybe in April. We don't know. Okay, Joaquin Torres, a 3/4. Ongoing, the on-reveal abilities of your 1-cost cards here happen twice. It's 3/4 Wong for 1 costs. Ree, you get this one first.
Okay. It feels very bouncy to me. Which I get. I don't super low. But it seems super powerful. I also give it a 4. It seems great.
Damn.
I don't know.
Are you excited for it personally?
No, because I feel like probably its best shenanigans would be in bounce, and I don't really play a lot of bounce.
Okay. Ben?
All right. Well, my thoughts about Joaquin Torres Falcon. I'm going to give this card 4 out of 4 Andalite morphing cubes, baby! AKA Escafil devices. Anywho, in case you're curious, who is Joaquin Torres going to be friends with anyway? I took the liberty of sorting through the 1-cost on reveals to find, sorting out the ones that you don't want to spam. No Bast, no Spider Ham here. Yeah. But here are the cards you could conceivably want to play with Joaquin Torres. The Hood, Silver Sable, Clint Barton Hawkeye, and by extension Basic Arrow, Rocket Raccoon, Agent 13, America Chavez, Electra occasionally. Probably not plan A, but if you generate an Electra, you can maybe kill 2 birds with that at some point. Iceman, Iron Fist. Yes, Iron Fist. We've all played Iron Fist on Kamertage and loved it, right? Okay. Korg, Mantis, Maria Hill, Nico Minoru, Celine, Snowguard, Squirrel Girl, Yondu, and Zabu and Blade. Is this enough to make him good? Absolutely. He's going to be a bounce staple and an interesting card in general. He does not, however, work with hammers. So banish those dreams if you were thinking about how much fun you were going to have with hammers, because that has to cost 1. 0 cost does not count. Sorry, Yellow Jacket. Other than that,
okay.
He just seems worthwhile and great.
You missed what I think is his best home. Now that Redwing has been changed, whole bunch of 1-cost cards, the Infinity Stones. I think that might be the best way to use them.
Oh, you think so? Yeah, this is definitely a Thanos card. I completely. I knew when I said the Basic Arrow, I was like, I bet I'm missing some generated card that totally works with this. And yes, several of them. 4 or 5,
you make your
right?
Thanos a 4-cost. You draw double cards every time you play an Infinity Stone there.
Good call.
I'm feeling so much more negative than you two. I gave him 1 thumb down.
For real?
Yes, and I think I would have given him 1 up or even 2 up with the old Redwing that bounced 1-cost cards. That card was nasty, and the combo would have been sick. I think he's a lot harder to play in bounce now. He's a 3-cost, which means even if you play Beast on him, you have to pay 2 again to get him back out.
Oh, you're not bouncing
that's
him.
True.
You're playing him.
You
after
are bouncing him if
things.
you're bouncing anything. I guess Falcon. Okay.
You bounce the stuff with Beast, then you drop Joaquin and all the stuff on turn 4. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I forgot about Falcon. Maybe he's a 1 thumb up. I think 3-cost is very awkward, and losing Redwing is losing bouncing Redwing is like a huge loss for this card. I was very excited for this card, and now I am not.
Interesting.
Yeah,
this is a reversal of our roles. Usually, I'm the one who's like, "This is a stinky poo-poo card." Lauren's over here just shooting everything down. Dang.
I feel like me and Lauren usually agree more. Now it's
I gotta be real. I'm just not super excited for this season. I do think Sam Wilson seems very fun.
Oh, he's gonna be bonkers.
And Joaquin will have highlights, but I think 3 is so expensive to pay for what he's doing.
He's a 3/4. He's a hottie with a body.
All right. Having a real body is something, like you can't say that about Wong. 4/2.
No.
I don't know.
I can't see this card not kicking ass, but I've been wrong before. Scarlet Spider still hasn't popped off in the way I predicted.
I guess you could play it with Moonstone.
Yeah, I guess you're definitely going to sometimes play it with Moonstone, probably, right?
Because then you don't have enough room. You want to leave all the room for your 1-drops to,
Yeah, Moonstone, Joaquin, and 2 of the Infinity Stones that have on reveals and ongoings. I don't know.
Maybe if you Killmonger, so you free up more space. And with
Killmonger's actually a good idea with this card.
That's what I was thinking, right? Especially when you said Thanos, I immediately thought Killmonger. Because if you're drawing so many of your stones so early, you don't want to fill up your board like that. So it'd be kind of the death version of Thanos, Plus, Killmonger's great because so many people are playing 1-drops now that,
Yeah.
Big.
Misery on Hood is obviously good. And this curve works a lot better than doing it with Wong. So, I don't know, maybe there's something there.
I'm wondering if maybe there's going to be Ghost Spider involved in a deck that would try to play Moonstone with Joaquin Torres. You need something to yank your enormous Silver Sable out of there,
Yeah.
Or something like that to just get more space to do more.
And then you bounce nonsense. That without having to bounce Joaquin.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe there's something there. Maybe it invents a new type of bounce that's not move bounce and it's not classic bounce. It's its own little weird thing.
The Moonstone part feels like it may be a leap. I just I don't play much Moonstone, so I'm not sure where I would start playing Moonstone, but that might be a place I would try. I don't know. I'm not sure that's a thing, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe Mystique's more practical or something. I don't know.
When you have something that helps other cards, you want as much room for those other cards as possible, especially when it's specifically for tiny cards.
Yeah,
that's
true.
I don't see putting Moonstone in.
You're already bouncing to hit these cards multiple times, though.
It's just a big setup, because then you're spending 3 on Joaquin and 4 on Moonstone, so you're really banking, I guess,
I feel like Moonstone is a bridge too far is kind of my feeling.
I think Joaquin might be. Okay.
Well, anything's possible.
The following week, Thaddeus, Thunderbolt, Ross, Red Hulk before he hulks out. A 2/2. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 or more power. I will take this one first. I gave it 2 thumbs up. I am not excited for it, but I think it's very strong. This is a card that thins decks. How many decks does he go in? I don't know. And part of that is if he draws Red Hulk, does Red Hulk get the extra power that turn? Because if he does, this card's a lot better.
I think maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
It's unclear.
A better card for Surtur than Ares was. He replaces Hydra Bob, who's in a lot of those decks. And I don't know how many other things he goes in, because I don't play decks that run 10 power cards very often. But thinning is a powerful ability, and when Adam Warlock was a 2 cost, he was a 2/0, and this is a 2/2 targeted draw. There's gonna be stuff that you can do with him that's very good.
That's what I was saying. Go ahead, Ben.
You mentioned Adam Warlock, and I was actually thinking that would be a great way to test if the Red Hulk grows at the end of turn, because Adam Warlock draws his card at the end of turn, right?
Yeah.
So, if you draw a Red Hulk off of Adam Warlock and the Red Hulk grows, then I bet that if you draw a Red Hulk off of Thaddeus, Thunderbolt, Ross, the Red Hulk will grow. But I'm not going to play Adam Warlock in a Red Hulk. I'm not going to do that science, but if someone else would like to, I'm very curious to know if Thaddeus will be able to do the thing.
My suggestion that I may not have made explicit enough is if Rolk gets the is it +3? If Rolk gets the extra power the turn that Thaddeus draws him, I think that you might run Thaddeus with Rolk as your only 10 power card. Like, that's a strong combo.
This is what I am trying to say, is that, like, you're missing. So not only is he just, I gave him a 4 because, like, not only is he just great for chasing out, like, a Red Hulk, which is already a decent card, and drawing a card and thinning your deck, you have control, because, like, cards that are 10 plus power, I mean, sure, you can play him in a Surtur and maybe he'll get you multiples, so that's a good home for him, but also, right, what if you just, like, want to draw any, you know, you can control what you put in there and you're not sacrificing a lot, because how many, like, you know, 6 cost, 5 cost cards that are that big are you putting in your deck? So you can very much target it, which is like, hey, instead of a magic, you know, to make sure my combo happens, here's a Thaddeus who is 1 less cost than magic, right? And it's just like, and is also not potentially giving your opponent an advantage and being able to turn off magic or do it. Mm-hmm. So he's a way to enable combos, in my opinion, more, you know, in a better way than magic does. Yeah. Right? Because you can control, because how many cards in your deck are more than 10 power? You can very easily control that and still have a great deck around that. So I think he's great.
Yeah, and some decks only need a little bit of thinning to be meaningful. Like, maybe he goes in some flavors of Hela, right? I mean, Hela sometimes runs Jubilee.
I think definitely goes in Hela.
Maybe instead of Jubilee, you're running Thaddeus. And even if he only draws 1 card, he's great. But, you know, he might draw more than 1 card. Like, he keeps on working. It's...
you give him a 2, Lauren.
Disturbing.
I'm going to say this about everything rated lower than me.
That's a 4. I gave him a 4.
Okay, I got Ben said 4-point scale.
If you need to be angry at somebody for being wrong about Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, I'm here. I'm here to get it done.
All right, good. Some contrarian. Let's go.
Yep. So here's the controversy coming out of my mouth. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. I rate this one 3 out of 4 malpracticing therapists on Shrinking, streaming now on Apple TV Plus. That's right, Harrison Ford. He's probably one of the more responsible therapists on that show. I've only seen the first season, but Jason Segel does some unprofessional shit, if you ask me. Anywho, drawing cards is very strong, but I think he misses out on a whole bunch by not being a 1 cost. I feel like, was he Data Mined as a 1 cost at one point? I think I was more excited about that version of the card. So he's friends with Surtur and Hela, I would argue, but who else? I'm not sure. I really don't know. I mean, deck thinning is great. So, like, maybe he's friends with everybody. I like drawing cards. I love drawing cards. I'll say it. But which cards are you going to draw? Let's talk about these eligible targets before modification. So none of these. Let's forget about Okoye. Let's forget about Fastos. Let's forget about the meddling fingers of Cassandra Nova. We're looking at Crossbones, Cull Obsidian, Typhoid Mary, Arrow, Heimdall, Helicarrier, Red Hulk, Sasquatch, She-Hulk, Scar, Thanos. I said Thanos. I don't know why. It was fun. Thanos, Orca, Emperor Hulkling, Hulk, Magneto, Death, Red Skull, Agatha Harkness, Giganto, Destroyer, and the Infinite. You know, big cards. Yeah, I just think he's 3 out of 4. That's all I feel about him. I think he's very good, but like turn 2, if you play a 2/2 and you don't draw any cards, that's very sad.
Yeah. He's a bad body himself, for sure.
Like sometimes you won't draw any cards with this card, and that's like a real bummer. And sometimes you'll draw a 10 power card, and then you'll draw another 10 power card, and then your opponent will waste some energy, and then you'll be out of 10 power cards that you could draw, and you won't even get to draw a card. Like sometimes they'll do the thing, and you won't be able to capitalize on it. Yeah. I just think this card is not the sure bet that he feels like he could be, you know?
And he is also bad late game.
Sure bet. But like, what in the game of my Snap, what is
there are a lot of good sure bets at 2 energy, I think. That's what I think.
Okay, the next card. This card is the biggest tragedy to me. As, you know, a girl who loved animals and dinosaurs as a child.
Yeah.
Redwing. The first time this move, 3/3. The first time this moves, add a card from your hand to the old location. Ben?
Well, my feeling, This one gets 2 out of 4 worms, presumably gotten by the early bird. Not entirely sure what to make of this card. I still kind of see him as the Ghost Rider of Move, but I'm not completely convinced that's something anybody actually wants, including me. I'm a Move enthusiast, but like I don't love everything they try to bring under the Move umbrella. I just don't think this card is as exciting as Fire Hair, for instance, coming out the month after. Just a way cooler card with similar themes, and just new Redwing is a healthier card for the game, I think, than original flavor Redwing, but like I'm not excited to dedicate resources to acquiring it, and I'm not excited to play it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair to it. Cheating out a big card for less than its cost is historically a cool thing you want to do in a card game. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Redwing is the business, but I just don't feel it. Who's next?
Ree.
I think so I also rated it a 2 because it is powerful to be able to swing one down from your hand, but I was also way more excited about the last version. 3 is costly. He doesn't move by himself. So that's built around. So it's a combo that could be powerful, but it's a hard to pull off. The only way I see playing him would be in a Surfer, maybe, where you really you often have more cards on turn 6 of the 3 cost variety than you can play. But it's how are you moving them around? It's just so awkward, and it's sad because, I kind of took him from a card I wanted to one I didn't. So what's your new rating, Lauren?
2 thumbs down, 1 out of 4.
Whoa.
My first note is kind of what Ben said. It's what problem is he solving? I think sometimes it's interesting to look at a card that's coming up and be like, oh, they're trying to strengthen this archetype, or they're trying to make this one weirdo card work better. And I'm like, what is he solving? Nico's move spell? People trying to run Iron Fist and Ghost Spider without a move package? I don't like him. I think he's maybe good in Madam Web, because then also if the card that he pulls out is not in the place you want it to be, you could move it the next turn after that. That's something.
Madam Web Surfer with Elsa.
Yeah, that's the one deck you can play Redwing in. Of course, there's going to be clever things you can do. I think we talked about it the first time we talked about Redwing, where it's if you put him in a move deck where there's actually move enablers, there are so many cards you don't that deck needs to be sequenced properly. There's so many cards you don't want to pull out early. You don't want to pull out Heimdall early. You don't want to pull out an out of sequence Ghost Spider. 2099 was the one card where oh, that would actually be a cool one to pull down for free. You save yourself 5 energy and.
But it's so hard to guarantee that it'll go your way with the it doesn't pull out the most expensive card in your hand. It doesn't pull out the biggest card in your hand. It just pulls out a card.
I would have different feelings if it was targeted in any way. It could be the leftmost card in your hand, or the biggest card in your hand, or even if it was the smallest card in your hand, because that's at least somewhat manipulatable. You can predict it. But with him being not targeted and 3 costs, I'm just this is a bad, yucky card, super disappointing. I don't think anybody should get it unless you are the kind of person who gets every single card. Okay,
I'm probably gonna get it.
Decisive.
Everyone just does this so hard in this.
I don't think it's gonna be good or fun, but I do want to have it so I can.
It's a 3-cost move card. You can't resist.
Okay. Also, there's Toon World Baron Zemo variant in the spotlights, who is very desirable. But it's also I want to build Surfer with Madam Web and Elsa.
It feels so dangerous. Maybe you save him for the last thing that you do on turn 6.
I know, it's what you move him with Aranya, you move him with Madam Web, so awkward.
You don't want to move your Surfer, or you don't want to pull out your Surfer early.
No,
it's just a very awkward card.
But maybe you do want to pull out your Surfer early if you're going to, like, I don't know, throw Symbiote Spider-Man. There are decks that play Surfer early. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, you're right.
With Abs Man and all kinds of nonsense. So, you know, with Odin, yeah, it's feasible.
Okay, the last one of the season, Diamondback, a 3/3 ongoing. Enemy cards here afflicted with negative power have an additional -2 power. I think.
I also, okay, so I won't lie, I just like think the card looks cool and has a cool name, and that's part of it. But also, so I'm gonna get it. It's 3. It's Surfer. I like having all the Surfer cards that are, you know, make sense in any way. And I think she might be. I gave her 4 because I don't know. I'm just hyped for her. She may be the thing that gets me to buy Ajax. Finally, because it's like, could there be like a Surfer? I know I'm just like all into Surfer right now. Affliction here with like Luke Cage as a 3.
I mean, that's a deck.
You know, like, so it's just like, I think I'm into it. I'm definitely getting her.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm probably getting Ajax because, like, I've kind of been wanting that anyway. But
I gave her, I don't know, messing up the order. I gave her a 2 thumbs up, 4 points also. She's the only card besides Thaddeus Ross I'm giving that to this season. It is disgusting that her ability is asymmetrical. That is insane. Yeah. Very cool with US Agent. Very cool with Hazmat. Right? Like, Hazmat alone, like, she makes it so you don't need Luke Cage for Hazmat to be real. Like, Hazmat is just straight up, like, -6 or -8 to the enemy side, depending on how many cards they have there.
You're right. Annihilus. You know what I mean?
Spider-Woman is huge with this card.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot. You're right. I'm so hyped. Okay.
Like, I know you love Spider-Woman. This is like, if they have 3 cards there, Spider-Woman is a 5/17.
Delicious.
Or, I mean, we could call it an 8/20 because you have to pay for Diamondback.
Yes,
but like,
I think we should call it an 8/20.
Which is still good. It's no 4/20 Doom 99.
It's 2-card combo, too.
Yeah, right. I acknowledge that. I just think that there's a lot that you could do with her. I think she fits in very neatly into Affliction packages. She's a good backup plan for Luke Cage. You know, you have Ajax in one lane and Diamondback in the other lane. You don't need Luke Cage. Like, you have 2 ways that you're benefiting more than they are when there's global Affliction.
Yeah, it's true.
I think she's great.
All right. Turns out Lauren and I don't agree about any of the cards this season.
Wow.
I don't think. So here are my thoughts about Diamondback. This is 2 out of 4 hypnotic snake scepters like Jafar uses on the Sultan of Agrabah in the classic Disney film Aladdin. So barring any Moonstone shenanigans, the ceiling of Diamondback is 311. That's good. But it isn't easy and it isn't flexible. There is a saying among comedians, local jokes get local work. So, like, if you joke about your hometown a lot, you'll always be able to get booked in your hometown, but, like, that doesn't play on the road. So, like, Diamondback is very impactful on that one lane where Diamondback lives, and you're going to win it by a landslide, and that's stellar, but, like, I don't know. It's so small and limited, and, like, it requires setup, and like the card that this works best with, in my opinion, is Hazmat, because like the Spider-Woman thing is an overcommitment on that one lane to win it by a zillion points. But like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I'm skeptical. I'm full on skeptical of Diamondback.
Okay, well there you have it, folks. Those are our thoughts for the February season. I'm kind of excited. Like, having talked about it is fun. I think it's marvelous that we didn't agree on a single card. I mean, we were close on some of them.
No, it's true. We were in the neighborhood on a lot of things, but you were not the believer in the cards that I was given fours to, and I was not a believer in the cards you were given fours to.
Correct. That's great. That's Good radio. Okay, next up, we live react like gamers and YouTubers to the OTA. We have not seen it. I'm going to the official Discord right now.
This is very
OTA
exciting.
that dropped just like an hour ago. Okay. No lengthy preamble this week. We've got a handful of buffs and nerfs to freshen up the metagame as the season comes to a close, so let's dive in. I'm not going to read the explanation for all of them, but first up, we have Dagger, a 2-0 plus 3 going to 2-2 plus 2. That's her old power, right?
Yep. We've seen this before, and it was just fine.
I'm glad for it. She's extremely strong, and move bounce has been dominating the top of the meta forever. I never see it, even having climbed all the way to 3,900 rank. I never see move bounce, but I know that it's been terrorizing the top of the leaderboard for months. So I'm glad to see it.
It gets around a lot of the tech I play, you know what I mean? Often. And it's like, oh, well, I've no way. You know what I mean? When they hit their stuff, like with Dagger and Human Torch, there's just no stop. You just know they're going to get
if you don't have tech, there's no way you can go taller than it. Yeah.
I haven't been playing a lot of Killmonger lately or Shadow King. So.
Ben, you don't play a lot of Dagger, do you?
I play a ton of Dagger.
You just don't play her in bounce. Okay.
Nope, I play her in Heimdall as whoever you like intended. That's my feeling. Somebody intended that you should play Dagger in Heimdall and nowhere else, and maybe it was me. I don't know, but I feel like I'm doing the right thing.
How do you feel about 2-2 plus 2?
I'm going to keep playing Dagger. I was playing 2-0 plus 2 Dagger. And I love Dagger. Dagger's a great card. Dagger does a good thing.
Another move card. Aranya. A 1-1 plus 2 goes to 1-2 plus 1.
I love this change.
That's an interesting change.
I hate it.
Are you a big fan of Human Torch?
Is it just a torch?
Deadpool is where I was playing her. And often I was killing her. So I don't want her to have more power. She just fought her.
Even for your null.
You know what I mean. But it's I want that power on Deadpool or an SJPN, or on Wolverine. Sad. This is a sad day for Aranya fans who are doing cool stuff with her that wasn't move.
I don't play her a ton. I like her in silly clip hunter things because she can pop an Odin and then get the Odin out of the way to absman the Odin, something like that. Yeah. She's definitely a good card, and I think this is still very playable.
She is going to be a little bit worse in one of the 2 decks where I do play her, and that is 100 bad guys with swords, because she will not be as good for buffing up a Dawkins that you would then double.
Oh, yeah.
But she's still pretty good with Sebastian Shaw, and she's probably out of the deck in that one, but she's probably still in Heimdall move that doesn't have werewolf in it, because she doesn't go in the werewolf version because she doesn't have an on reveal. But sometimes I put her in Heimdall decks, and I'll probably keep putting her in Heimdall decks. But yeah, this is just to kill the Human Torch thing.
It'll be interesting to see how much this changes her play rate, because you think that the main thing that you use her for is for the move, but maybe it sounds like it might be the buff.
A lot of it is the Human Torch angle.
Okay. Spectrum just goes 6-6 to 6-7. That seems fine to me.
Yeah.
She probably needs more than that, to be honest.
No, for real. My stat, the stats on the snap.fan thing, they got reset a while ago or whatever, but for the longest time, I would just look at my Spectrum performance and be like, why do I even try to play this card? When I draw Spectrum, when I play Spectrum, just not getting a lot of cubes there, are you, Ben? No. So yeah, I was privately wondering what does everyone else see in this card? Are they getting way better results with Spectrum than I am? And they probably were. I was probably doing it wrong, but I just don't think
She's
Spectrum is like
fun though.
Yeah, she has a brief resurgence with the like Luke Cage, U.S. Agent, Man Thing, that deck. She had a brief resurgence with that. But
it's just like one batch of +2s is like not. I mean, like, I know you're hoping to like Wong it so that it's 2 batches of +2s, but like sometimes
that was the best time with her was like when Miss Marvel, like we were putting together Miss Marvel ongoing decks, and like Miss Marvel is just too rough anymore, and that kind of really hurt Spectrum viability.
Yeah. If you compare her to like Surfer, where you get what is he 3/2 +2, but then you also have 3 more energy to do something with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she could be even a little stronger than this.
I think so too. I think she could go to 6/8 and nobody would notice.
Yeah, I think +3 might be a little too much, but 6/8 would be fine. Namora 5/6 to 5/7.
Ooh, okay, finally something I can be excited about.
We lied earlier.
I'm glad that that's happening before she's featured in spotlights. Mm-hmm. Okay, leader gets a point of power.
But I don't know that it makes her like vastly better, to be honest. I just wanted an excuse to play again. But it's like, because she got buffed, are we going to see all the goblins and junk decks now? Like, I don't know.
I don't. It's not enough to make Namora a mainstay. She's too easy to mess up with. Junk.
It's true.
Or cause.
There are a lot of ways she can go wrong, but I think
just it's a couple of squirrels.
Okay. Leader gets an extra point of power, 6/4 now. I've actually seen a decent amount of leader, like not a ton, but like he's in the meta. Like I see him sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just love a generated leader. It's my favorite 6 cost to get off the raft.
Yeah, or a 2 cost one from Iron Patriot.
So, yeah, that's surprising. I don't feel like leader needed the help. I've been seeing him reasonable.
Yeah, kind of surprised. Agreed. Sandman gets an extra power, and yeah, I don't see Sandman anymore. Which I'm happy with. I don't like Sandman.
I'm rooting for him.
Are you? Is there anybody you're not rooting for?
The bounce counter,
there are definitely cards I'm not rooting for.
Okay.
None of them on this list. Oh, wow. I scrolled down the list a little bit. Saw somebody I was rooting for. We'll get there when we get there.
Did you say he's there to stop bounce, Rhea? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, right? Isn't that his most? Because now that he makes things cost more, it used to be a way to like do a lot of decks, Surfer everything. And now when I run into a Sandman, it usually doesn't faze me that much because it's like, yeah, I can't do everything I wanted, but like, you know, I can still do stuff. Where it really hurts is when you were planning on like playing out.
You can play around it versus him just being a retreat. Unless you're playing bounce. Yeah, agreed. Okay, Ms. Marvel gets a point of power, 4/4 to 4/5.
Oh,
I was just saying last week. I hope this isn't the way they buff her. I hope
because it's not good enough. No, not at all. Because that's not the problem. No.
Yeah, her ability is still too restrictive. She is too hard to play.
She's harder to pull off than Namora, it feels like.
Yeah, like they don't need to buff the body; they need to buff the effect. This is not what it was called for.
And it's part of it's just the fact that we're filling the boards way more than we did like a year ago in the game, you know, back in time. And that just makes her harder and harder to do. And if you're not filling that board, it means you're more vulnerable to tech usually. And also, you know, you're just doing less. Anyway, so... yeah, bummer. I'm bummed, like you said, Lauren. This is the way that they're doing it. It's the edge.
Luna Snow gets a point of power, 3/5 to 3/6. I don't see a ton of Luna, but that is a little surprising to me because 3/5 is a good stat line. But I guess giving your opponent an ice cube is a sizable drawback. So maybe they're justifying the 3/6. She seems a lot more playable to me at 3/6.
I agree. Because that's just like a pretty good, you know, it's not a stat line you hate when you're missing on whatever you're trying to do with it.
Right. She's a very fun card. I definitely have not explored her enough.
Yeah, I've been playing her in some decks, and I like her a lot, but like I have felt like maybe she needed a little help. She's a little too symmetrical, a little too the rising tide lifts all ships, and really I'm mostly concerned with my ship. Let's focus on mine a little more.
Yeah.
And 3/6 helps us do that.
For sure. Yeah, this change I like. Which is not to say like I don't like the Ms. Marvel change. It's not the one I wanted.
Not the one she needs.
And not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to help her really.
All right, that's the whole thing.
It doesn't get you excited to deck build with her again. You're like, no, all the problems that were there are still there.
Nope, I'm like, I'm going to lose all the same games I lost last time I tried this.
Yep.
Okay, small little OTA, eight cards, and they're all.
Oh, is that all of it?
Yeah, just all number changes.
Okay.
Is that it?
I mean, I like the move that I don't play is being nerfed because that's annoying. But it's just like Namora is the most exciting thing for me, and it's like I don't know that she's like vastly more good.
Yeah,
it was just a rough meta for her to begin with all the junk and stuff.
Next up, our side quests this week. Secret homework. It was assigned by Reggi. Are you ready to take it away and tell us what it was?
Yeah. Okay. So with Character Mastery coming out, it was just simple. What's the reward you genuinely want to see from Character Mastery? Be that, game resources or whatever. And mine I knew pretty immediately. What I want to see from Character Mastery is a frame, is a border, like the spotlight borders, the infinity avatar borders that is
for an avatar
for a character. So like a Valkyrie border avatar, because that's so one, I like it because right now the only way to get a different border is through spotlights, which I never use those because I think they look kind of wonky.
They're disgusting.
Yeah, okay. Some people use them and like them, and I can kind of see, it's just like, but the only other way is infinity, and not everyone is a conquest junkie, and I think having more ways to get cool frames, which it's a very difficult achievement, it does show your love for that character. I would love to see a character specific, like, avatar border.
Are you thinking it's a different border for every character, or just like, this is the mastery border and you got it for all of your Namora avatars?
I think that would be the way I would want it to work. Like, it only works with this character, but it works with any avatar of that character.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a very good idea. Okay. My first reaction was reactions. That's the thing that I've always wanted when they introduced custom reactions, but that's like, I'm pretty sure those are going to be there. They were in the original Character Mastery announcement a year ago. I really hope they're there. Part of the reason I think they might still be there is the character albums we've gotten, the ones that give you like Carnage or Spider-Man or Wolverine reactions. It's never the character in its basic form. It's like it's Thor with an eye patch, or it's like Carnage mid-transformation. So I think that they still have the basic reaction sets for the characters out there, and I really hope that's it. But I thought it would be bad for Secret Homework because I think those are probably still coming. So I thought maybe a little bit of cheating because I have to implement a whole additional feature to support this. But I think that the player profiles that you're playing somebody and you can see like what alliance they're in and like what their CL is and I would love to see them expand that screen a lot. Let me show off what my favorite card is. Let me see what somebody's current rank is, not just what their highest rank ever is. I think that confuses a lot of people. And I think it'd be really cool to put a couple medals in there. This is something that Pokemon Pocket does. You can feature like 3 medals that you've won. I think it'd be really cool to show off that like I hit level 30 on my Valkyrie mastery and put that right on my profile.
I don't know if I click on it in people's in the alliance screen. You know what I mean?
That's another way to get to somebody's profile. Yeah, I think that's a great way to expand the social elements of the game. Is let me show off who I am. I don't know if I would show off Valkyrie, because, like, at least not when I'm running a deck with Valkyrie. I don't want you to be thinking about Valkyrie. She is a surprise card, and I do not want you to be thinking about her at all. But something like, I don't know, Captain Marvel, who isn't a surprise card and is a card I really like and have decent mastery on, or Misery. I would love to show off, like, hey, I'm dumb and I split Misery 50 times. Like, look at my cool medal that shows my Misery mastery. Say that 10 times fast. Ben?
All right. So I actually, there was a secret homework we had recently that I actually assigned, but I forgot to like get into this thing when I was pitching the X-Men Legends 2 season. One of the cool things about that season that I did not mention was that, like, that video game had very cool load screens. They would change based on who was in your party at the time and like what boss you were making your way to fight and stuff. And like they had beautiful illustrations, like hand painted stuff, and like by some of the same people who like did Magic the Gathering cards and things. And like I think maybe there were some Alex Horleys in there. I could be misremembering, but like there were some big name artists who did the load screens. So I'm thinking, custom load screens. You master that character, you get a beautiful picture of them when you start the game, or perhaps when you queue into, when you're doing the matchmaking. There's a very, very boring matchmaking screen that, tells you how long you've been waiting for your match and stuff. And like, it just looks like the most basic ass screensaver on Windows 95. Not even one of the spicy ones, like it's just not compelling. But, I always have more fun when my friend Spider-Man is there. So let's get a good picture of him and let's stare at that while I wait for my next opponent. And I was thinking, like, I don't want another ugly kind of border or anything. No offense to anyone who does. Like these, I don't want a new way to emote. Just like, let me have my own private beauty in the game. Like, let me look at something nice. I don't need to be rude to my opponent in a flashy new way. I just want to have a cool time looking at art. That's what I say.
That's a great one. Now, assign next week's homework.
All right. Now, next week's homework. As has come up several times, I got a long history of playing these fun Marvel games. As I just said, I love it when my friend Spider-Man is there. So This all started for me, like, at least in a collectible gaming sort of way, with a miniatures game called HeroClix. And it's very fascinating to me how, like, the focus changes on, like, which characters are considered essential and core to the Marvel brand and stuff. So when this first HeroClix set came out, it was called Infinity Challenge. It had a bunch of characters I had never heard of. As I said, I know about the X-Men, I know about Spider-Man's. That's the core of my Marvel participation. So I'm like, who's this Thanos guy? Thanos was the most expensive point total for any piece in the game. So like most of your team would be Thanos if you wanted to play Thanos. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. There are a bunch of these characters that are not in Marvel Snap because we cared about different people in 2002 than we care about now in 2025, or than we cared about in 2023 or whatever. So like there's some characters that I was having a stroll down memory lane looking at this list. I was like, I haven't heard about Constrictor in a minute. Do you guys know who Constrictor is?
Not at all.
Constrictor is just some dork who has Dr. Octopus tentacles on the ends of his arms. That's all he's got. He's basically like shitty Omega Red. Like, what a loser. Anyway, so I would like each of you to pick one character from this list. You don't even have to know who it is. Here are all the characters in the first HeroClix set that are not yet in Marvel Snap. All of the Marvel characters that were apparently important in 2002. We've got Constrictor, Boomerang, not to be confused with Captain Boomerang from Suicide Squad, Puppet Master, I believe that's a Fantastic Four villain, Blizzard, I don't know what Blizzard's deal is, Pyro, yes, I know what Pyro's deal is, Whirlwind, Mr. Hyde, Controller, Quasar, Nightmare, So those are 10 characters that were apparently important in 2002 that we don't give a shit about anymore. So if you would like to design a card for one of those, you can pick now or you can pick later off the air. And there are enough names that the fans can play along at home.
Oh, heck yeah.
That is funny. I did recognize some of those, though. So
I played a different Marvel miniatures game. It was Heroescape.
Did they make Marvel sets of Heroescape?
They had a Marvel set. I had so much fun playing Heroescape with my brother. Anyway, that's a very cool game.
Oh, yeah, I love Heroescape.
If you like what you heard, interact. Leave a comment. If you're listening on a podcast app, come comment on YouTube, because why not? Give us strength. Or I think you can comment on Spotify too. We check those. Anyway, all the other, our socials and stuff like that, they're in the show notes. They're in the video description. We have a Discord that is hard to get to, and maybe I need to make a video about it or something, because everybody who shows up is like, wow, that was hard to figure out how to get there. There is a link in the show notes. But then once you're there, you have to go to a specific channel and click a button, a reaction, to get access to the Snap on This stuff. We're part of the Snap Judgments League. We're piggybacking on their Discord. We would love to have you there. It's fun discussing just with listeners, and also we talk about the secret homework there, and listeners share their secret homework that they've done. It's very fun. If you want to be there. If you don't, that's totally fine. We still
and you don't have to do the secret homework. You can just come and ask us questions. If we say some goofy stuff that didn't make sense to you, I will gladly explain myself.
Hundo P. And the reason we get to piggyback on Snap Judgments Network or Snap Judgments League Discord is because we are part of the Snap Judgments Network, where you can listen to other great shows like Snap Judgments, our grand pod, where Pulse Glazer and Roy talk to usually two guests from the community every week. It's a little different sometimes. That comes out on Saturdays and is a great listen. Yeah. If you want to see what we think about the patch that comes out next week, and hopefully we see April cards, tune in next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
Yeah.
We had the correct.
Oops, we did it again.
Out now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I won't lie. Latte is so amazing. He was right behind your shoulder, and it was
sure
so hard to not just be oh, Latte.
Boy.
Ben is talking, but there's Latte.
Yeah.
This is America's kitty we're talking about. Honestly, the world's kitty, because this is a global podcast.
That's true.
Wow.
Yes. Span the corners of the globe. I was glad and impressed that the Animorphs reference came early this time. I just think, mix it up, keep me on my toes. I appreciate that.
Like to zag where others might zig.
I guess next week it's your week to feel sick, Ben, so watch out.
Oh,
That's
dear.
my nickname for my new kitten, Zigzag.
It's a very cute name.
Zagger's Palin Wing.
But I am sticking to the plan of thinking of that cat exclusively as Little Hades, because that's what Poseidon calls Zagreus.